There are loads more bedtime stories on BBC iPlayer. Just search CBeebies Bedtime Stories.
CBeebies Bedtime Story.
Hello there! I'm Justin. Are you getting excited for Christmas? Fantastic, so am I! Oh, welcome to my magical Christmas tree forest. See how the trees sparkle. And in tonight's CBeebies Bedtime Story, we're going to find out about a special little Christmas tree who dreams of finding a cozy home for Christmas. Well, let's find out all about him in Little Spruce, written by Sital Gorasia Chapman and illustrated by Vicky Lommatzsch. Oh, but before we begin, for more CBeebies Bedtime Stories, go to BBC iPlayer. Deep in a forest that sparkles with snow is a magical place where Christmas trees grow. Thick ones and thin ones, ancient and new. Straight ones and strong ones, and crooked ones too. Tall ones and short ones, big ones and small. And the teeniest, tiniest tree of them all. Year after year, as Christmas draws near, families and friends arrive full of cheer to pick out a tree for their celebrations, to garland with lights and bright decorations. Year after year, Little Spruce thought, pick me! But the spot where he grew was too hard to see. He was always ignored and left on his own, forgotten, abandoned, unchosen, alone. One night, as the northern lights swirled blue and green, Little Spruce made a plan to get himself seen. He gathered together some snowflakes and ice, adorned all his branches and made them look nice. He stood straight and tall and puffed out his chest. He crossed all his needles and hoped for the best. One day, two children skipped through the trees. They squealed in delight. "This one, Mum, please." But that tree was too tall. The next was too wide. The third had an animal living inside. Some were too bushy and others too bare. Then Mum said excitedly, "Look, over there." Little Spruce had been seen. His spot had been spotted. He was swiftly dug up and carefully potted. In the back of the car, he could not stop beaming. Was this real, or was he dreaming? He had a new home. It filled him with glee. Now for a new life as a real Christmas tree. He loved wearing baubles and sweet candy canes, the lights and the star hat and gold paper chains. He stood by the window and watched children play. He guarded the presents until Christmas Day. Then Little Spruce shimmered and brought joy to the home. He was part of the family, no longer alone. Friends were invited to share smiles and laughter, a big festive feast with fun and games after. Woohoo! At the end of the day, they said their goodbyes. There were warm hugs and kisses and sleepy young eyes. Once Christmas was over, there soon came the day. The lights and the baubles were all packed away. The star was returned to its place on the shelf. The elf disappeared, all by himself. And Little Spruce wondered, where will I go? In a bag? In a cupboard? The answer was no. little Spruce found himself out on the street, alone once again as the snow turned to sleet. He waited and waited near boxes and bins, mountains of paper, bottles and tins. Nobody noticed when out of the blue, the collectors arrived and collected him too. Little Spruce trembled from needles to nose. All through the journey, then little Spruce froze. The chipper was waiting to feed on the trees, to crunch up the branches and spit out the leaves. Little Spruce struggled, but it was no use. He was tightly tied up and could not break loose. That night, as the northern lights swirled through the air, little Spruce made a plan to get out of there. He cut through the rope and soon came unstuck. Yay! Then little Spruce tumbled head first from the truck. He rolled through the yard, bounced onto a sledge, whoa, escaped down a mountain and over the edge. Woo! He soared through the sky and over the moon, looked down at the rooftops. He'd be back home soon. The boy and the girl who were missing their tree looked up at the sky as down he came. Whee! All of the neighbors gathered around to plant little Spruce safe in the ground. Now he lives in the garden, and year after year, Christmas and after, is packed full of cheer. What a brave little tree! And now every year he celebrates Christmas with his own family and brings joy to them all. I wonder if little Spruce is looking at the stars tonight. Well, it's time now to get comfy and cozy and have the sweetest of dreams. I'll see you soon for another CBeebies Bedtime story. Night-night.
There are loads more bedtime stories on BBC iPlayer. Just search CBeebies Bedtime Stories.